Ready? Everybody in? Cool. All right, everybody, I am Chris Lesak, and I'm going to be your presenter today. Just a little about me. I'm a licensed real estate broker in the state of Texas, and I've been selling since 2003. I still actively sell real estate and use methods that I teach. So everything I tell you today, I use it in my business. I've done it. And not only have I done it, I haven't done it just once. I've done it many, many times, and I've done it for 16 and a half years now. So spent most of my life in real estate. I'm fortunate to be in a family that does land surveying, property management, construction, and other things on the real estate business. So I spent my life growing up on construction sites, and I started out at 18 years old doing property management for my uncle in a small college town. Do not do property management in a college town if you can help it. It's kind of disgusting. But anyway, we'll save that. I own the Chris Lesak Group and other real estate businesses. My family has a surveying company. I run sales for it. We're one of the largest land surveying companies in Houston, property management company, investing, other things that I do in the real estate sector. I'm a real estate fanatic. If you can't tell already, everything I do is pretty much real estate based, and I love training and teaching real estate sales and systems. So we've talked a long time about me doing a door knocking class, and I haven't done it, but I decided, hey, it's finally time that we get to do it. So we're gonna dive in and we're gonna talk about door knocking. Here's what we're gonna cover. We're gonna talk about why door knock, where to door knock, what to wear, what materials you should take, when is the best time, and most importantly, what do you say when you go out and door knock? That's the biggest question I get. So first thing, why door knock? The biggest reason that I like to door knock is it's face-to-face. I do not like to sit on a phone and call people. I'm not good. If you got someone like Lyle who's really great talking to people and he's good on the phone, you may want to be on the phone. I know plenty of people that they can get on the phone, they can dial. I'm not that person. Once I sit in my office for 20 minutes, I'm ready to get up and leave. I just can't do it. So that's why I really got into door knocking. I was getting good business out of my database, and I was like, I want to grow my business further. I need to do something in addition to my database. And so I looked at it and I said, what's the one thing I can do to go out and generate business that I'm comfortable with? And surprisingly, going and finding people and talking to them face to face was the thing that I was most comfortable with. So that's my biggest reason for doing it. It keeps you active in the community. I was out in a neighborhood the other day, and there's a house that has grass 2 feet tall, okay? So we got a foreclosure coming up. So if I have an investor client, I'm out door knocking in my farm area, and I see grass that's 2 feet tall, I'm gonna go back and research that property. Hey, is it in foreclosure yet? Can I help this client maybe get out of their house and help my investors get another deal? Okay, it's a win for the seller, it's a win for my investors, and it's a win for me because I get multiple deals out of it. Higher conversion rates. So we studied it, we sat down and we made phone calls, and we dialed and dialed and dialed and dialed, and I had a team of people dialing. And then we went out and knocked on doors. And what we found was it took the same amount of time or less to actually talk to someone when you knock on their door versus making the calls and talking to someone, okay? But here's what we found. We talked to the same number of people, and we had a higher conversion rate when we actually met them face to face when we knocked on the door, okay? So same amount of time, same amount of contacts, but the big thing was higher conversion rate. More people agreed to buy or sell with us as a result, okay? Recession proof. The reason that door knocking is recession proof is because you can always do it. It's very low cost, which we mentioned that in here. It's very low cost. I can go out and door knock today with no materials. I don't recommend that, but I can. I can go out today, I can knock on someone's door, have no business card, no marketing material, nothing with me, so I have zero cost to go out and knock on someone's door, okay? But the thing about why it's also recession proof is, as we talked about earlier, is like, Facebook could go away, or Facebook ad costs could go up, or if the economy turns and costs are out of whack that throw off your marketing, you're going to be able to continue to go and market and do what you need to do and not spend a lot of money on it, okay? Great exercise. You go out and walk 3 to 5 miles a day, like I do. I have some days where we walk 10 plus miles when we go out and door knock, when it's cooler weather. You're going to get great exercise in. I haven't gone out much lately, as you can probably tell, but it's great exercise. It really is. And aside from the summer times, I door knock a lot in the fall, the winter, the spring, and early summer. And it's really great to get out there. The weather's great. Where do you knock? The best place to knock is where you live, unless if you have a low turnover rate or something in a neighborhood. But most neighborhoods are going to have a decent enough turnover rate to where you want to knock. The one thing I always hated in an old neighborhood I lived in is I would drive home and I would see someone else's sign in the yard. How many people like driving home and seeing a neighbor with someone else's sign in the yard? Let me see, show of hands, who likes that? Nikki, you like someone else's sign being in their yard? Would you prefer it's your sign in their yard? Yeah. Well, go talk to your neighbors. Best way to go talk to your neighbors, go knock on their door. Hey, I'm your neighbor. Didn't hear what she said. Hey, I'm your neighbor. I'm also a real estate agent. Want to introduce myself. If there's ever anything you need, give me a call. Give them a card. Take them a gift if you want, if they just moved in, okay? Very easy, very low pressure, just introducing yourself and letting them know you exist, okay? Start where you have, another place to go, start where you have business. If you have a listing, you should be door knocking around your listings. Okay, we're going to get into scripts a little bit more later, but if you have a listing, you need to be knocking houses around there, 50 to 100 to 200 doors around your listings. Statistics show every time there's a listing, within 200 houses of that listing, 2 to 3 more properties come on the market. Okay? 2 to 3 more properties. So when you get that first listing on a street or in a section of a neighborhood, you know statistically 2 to 3 more are going to come up. How about you go and be that listing agent on those 2 to 3 more properties? Okay? That's real easy math, real easy way to identify where business is going to come from next. So for every 200 houses listed in a geographic area, 2 to 3 more houses will come up on the market. In a hot market, it could be more than that. Okay? I had one section where we knocked in there and within 300 houses, 12 houses came up. 12 houses came up. What's that? I listed 6 houses out of those in that year, okay? The 12 came up right away, but some others did come up. I sold 6 houses in that neighborhood that year, okay? So knock where you live, knock where you have business. The next thing is, where do you want more business, okay? Where is a neighborhood that you want to go to next? Do you currently have a farming area? And if not, why not? When you're picking a farm area, you're going to want to find houses that you want to sell, okay? Find some houses that you want to sell, a neighborhood you want to work in, go knock in that neighborhood, okay? You want to find a neighborhood, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, a neighborhood that's going to have good growth, that's got good turnover rates. Go in that neighborhood, start knocking on doors. When I talk about what we take and what we say, I'll get into a little bit more of how we're going to approach that. Now, here's one thing to note about when deciding where you're going to knock is legal restrictions. Okay, in the state of Texas, a licensed, background check, fingerprinted real estate agent is allowed to go door to door without restriction. There's some exceptions to that. Okay, because we are not a direct seller of a product, we're an intermediary, we're a broker, we have a little bit different rules in Texas. Now, if you move and you go to New Mexico or California or Florida, you may have different rules. Now, the few restriction exceptions that we have are some municipalities, meaning a local city, might have a rule. Some neighborhoods will have a rule, but we kind of don't care about neighborhoods, and I'll tell you why in a second. We primarily care about what a local municipality has as a restriction. Some cities, and we have some here locally, will have a restriction saying you can't door knock without a permit. You go to the city, you fill out some paperwork, you get a permit, okay? You take that permit out with you every time you door knock. Because you'll see some people will be in certain Facebook community groups going, hey, someone's out door knocking today. I asked them for their permit and they didn't have one. And they called the cops on the people. Are you going to ask if I've had the cops called on me? Okay, because I have had plenty of times. Go ahead. She had the cops called on her. So here's the thing. What do you do when the cops are called on you and you're out door knocking? Nothing. Hey, all right, hold on. Let's focus. Do not worry about it. The reason you don't worry about it is for the reason I just told y'all. If you know the rules, you don't have to worry about it. You will get calls, not all the time, but fairly often if you're door knocking a lot, and people are going to say, hey, you're in my neighborhood, like we've had it a few times recently. Hey, you're out knocking in my neighborhood and you're not supposed to be here. I'm calling the sheriff's department. Okay. I had a team member that was out at a property and the homeowner came out and they said, hey, we're going to go call the sheriff's department on you. And they're on the phone with me going, what do I do? And I said, give the person the phone. They give them the person the phone. I said, call the cops. Okay. Because I knew the rules and I knew they were bluffing. Most people don't like door-to-door salespeople because most of them are pushy, they litter their front porch and all that. We're not going to do that. We're going to be nice, we're going to come from contribution, we're going to be helpful, we're going to be present in the community a lot, so people are going to welcome us to their neighborhoods to door knock, okay? Out of 1,000 houses, you're probably going to have about 2 to 3 houses that you're going to get a complaint from. Okay, so 997 other people are not going to complain. They're not going to have a problem with you out there door knocking. I get received very well when I am out door knocking by people in the neighborhood. And if someone ever complains, say, hey, it's a benefit for me to be in your neighborhood. And they'll say, why is that? Because I get to go around, I get to see what's going on in the area. I care about your home values being high. I care about your home sales being good. So I don't want crime in your neighborhood. And anytime I've told someone that, they're like, okay, that's fine. We like you. Stay in the neighborhood. And I've never been kicked out of a neighborhood, okay? So watch your legal restrictions. Now, what to wear? Dress for your market. You'll see that I'm wearing dry fit shirt, shorts. My market is suburban Houston, Texas. Because it's Texas, it's hot. So I say, dress to the climate, okay? So 4 months out of the year, I'm going to dress like this, and I'm going to wear dry fit shorts. These are Nike golf shorts. There's a plug for Nike. Nike dry fit shirt, and I put my logo and my web address on here, okay? We live in a market that's a little more casual. We have several golf course communities around here. It's not uncommon for me to go play golf with the people who I sell their houses for. The other 8 months out of the year, when it's not burning hot outside, I wear Nike dry fit pants. So I put pants on, you cannot tell that they're not dress slacks. They look very nice. They have a crease in them. They're golf pants, so same thing you'd see a professional golfer wear on television, okay? But they're dry fit, they're cool. I don't get hot in them, I don't sweat in them. And then when I wear pants, I wear Bostonian shoes. They're like $40 or $50. They have a cushion outsole, look nice on the top, and they're cushioned on the bottom. And so your feet feel good in them all day, okay? That's what I wear. And I intentionally wore this today. I didn't want to dress up and wear something I wouldn't go and door knock in.
For a woman.
If you're a woman, you can still wear golf shorts, okay? But most women, they usually wear a dress, and some of them will wear, I've never worn high heels. Full disclosure, I've never worn high heels, okay? But some ladies will go out and knock in high heels. I don't know how long that would last. I have a friend that does it, but she'll only go out, she's more luxury, smaller communities. So she'll go out and knock 25 to 50 doors and do that in high heels. I think if you're gonna go out and door knock, you need to do more than 25 to 50 doors at a time. So we've had team members that are female that will wear shoes. They'll wear a nice dress and shoes, or there's some shoes, I think Nikki has a pair that they're like a Cole Haan where, Nike owns Cole Haan, so they can put some tech in the lower part of the shoe, but still make it look really nice on the top. I would just find some comfortable dress shoes, but tennis shoes are okay. Just, maybe have it match your outfit. So that would be my advice. Yeah. But 3-inch heels on the bumpy sidewalks that we have, I don't know if those would work. So, dress your market, dress your climate, wear a name tag, permit. We talked about the permit. If you have to have one, some people make you put a name tag on and have your permit on your shirt or your belt so that when you walk up to a door, you can easily identify it, okay? I do the branded shirt. I think the branded shirt looks good because people I go open a door, people come out and they see my shirt, they see my name, they see my website. I look not official, but I look professional, that I have my information readily available to them. I recommend that. If you don't want to wear a branded shirt, wear a name tag. You have a name tag on, stick with the name tag. That's what I would do. Have your company info or your name prominently displayed. The last thing you want to do is go up to someone's house and not look like you are a professional person, okay? We had an incident where someone in this office, they're no longer in this office, went out, door knocked, no name tag, no business cards, no marketing material, and he was in an area that required a permit. No permit. A friend of mine that lived in that neighborhood put on Facebook, hey, beware, there's a guy out here door knocking and I think he's a criminal. So I messaged the person on Facebook, said, hey, can you please take that down? That's a new agent from our office. He doesn't know what he's doing. I apologize for that. So they took the post down. But the worst thing he did was, he says, hey, I'm out here door knocking for business. She said that. He runs to his car and drives off like he had just, committed a crime or was about to. Don't do that. No sudden moves. But you need to think about that, okay? So identify yourself, look professional, be professional. You want to present yourself in a good manner. Yes, ma'am.
How do you find out which areas require a permit?
Call the city. Call the city. And if you're involved enough in those communities, because the neighborhood itself could require a permit, it's usually going to be the city itself is going to require the permit. It's going to be in the municipality. So you can call City Hall. Hey, do y'all require just permitting or something? Hey, do y'all require a permit when you go door knocking? And see what they say. Yeah.
Should you let them know you're a real estate agent?
Yeah, we'll get to that in scripts. No, I'm
talking about.
Oh, the city?
City.
Yeah.
Okay.
But state law, if you look it up, real estate agents in the state of Texas don't have laws, and most other states, they do not have laws restricting real estate agents, okay? So the thing about the municipalities is some people just want to regulate everything really heavily, so just check, do it, it's worth it. I never really run into that issue, but check. Yeah, Sugar Land does. There's some other places that do. But yeah, you can call them, say, hey, I'm a real estate agent, I just want to know. But yeah, if nothing else, make sure you're identified, like you look professional and they can see your name, your company, something when you go up there and knock on a door. What to take? If nothing else, take business cards, okay? Have business cards with you always. I don't take them as much because I'll take out a branded flyer that has my contact info. But I used to always take business cards, and I usually will have 10 or 20 of them in my pocket, just in case someone wants to see one. Another thing is notepad and pen. I get these notepads, I didn't bring a copy, but I get notepads. They're about 3 inches wide and about 7 inches long. And they fit perfectly into your back pocket. And what I'll do is I'll take that notepad and I'll take a pen with me. And the reason I do that is when you're out there and you meet a nice person and you're like, hey, I'm working in the area, I want to sell houses. And you go, I'm selling my house in 6 months. You need something to write it down on, right? And you don't want to have, I don't do the clipboard and all that. You can do a clipboard. I've tried that, doesn't work for me, but you can go out there with the clipboard. The AT&T guys and warranty people, they take clipboards with them. I don't do that. I go out there, I have a notepad and I have my flyer or whatever postcard that I'm working with at that time. And then I just make a note after I walk away. So I'd say, hey, thanks for meeting me. I'll be in touch. I'll walk down the sidewalk and halfway between that house and the next house, I stop. I make a note, 123 Main Street, nice lady, follow up. Looking to move in 6 months. I make that note and then I put the notepad back in my pocket and I keep going. So that way you don't go up there and have a bunch of bulky stuff. Now, I wear a dress and I don't have pockets. Just take a little notepad and keep it underneath your flyers or business cards. They're not real heavy. You should be able to just hold it underneath there and then have your pen and you can make notes too. Marketing material. I take flyers with me. I take black and white flyers, no color, okay? People ask me all the time, why not color? Costs money. That's my reason. Number one agent in the country, their team, all their flyers are black and white. I'm like, well, if you sold 2,300 houses and you did all black and white flyers, I think black and white's okay. So I started doing black and white flyers about 5 years ago. We eliminated all the color flyers and I've never had an issue. I still get business off of it, okay? And I just like to have something to hand the person. You know, I come up and meet you at your house. It helps you look credible even more. Have a flyer. Here's an open house that we're having on Saturday. You leave the flyer and they're looking at the flyer. And when we get to scripts, I'll go through this a little bit more and I'll show you how I do that a little bit more because I'll use the open house as an example. But we'll do that and it's something really good to leave because a business card small can get lost, but those flyers, I'll go into people's houses 3 months later for a listing appointment and that flyer has a magnet on it and it's on the refrigerator, okay? So, you know, talk about top of mind, they're seeing it every day they walk by their refrigerator, so. What else to take? Water, sunblock, and vanilla. So leave water in your car. You're gonna get thirsty out there. The sunblock, self-explanatory. It gets, you know, it's sunny in Texas. You wanna keep your skin good. And the vanilla, does anyone know why I'd have vanilla on there?
For the gnats.
For the gnats. Y'all know what biting gnats are? They come out around April and they bite you and make your face swell up.
Oh my God, they're white.
Yeah, you can barely see, and we call them no-see-ums growing up is what we called them. But they're buffalo gnats or biting gnats. Guess who's highly allergic to them? So when I get bit by one, it looks like a piece of bubble gum is stuck in my cheek and it swells up. So a friend of mine who we were in some sports together, they're in a lot of baseball leagues, they said, hey, put vanilla on. So I take a little bottle of vanilla extract. Girls, if y'all have vanilla body spray, I'm told it works too. I've never used vanilla body spray either. Haven't worn high heels or dress for vanilla body spray. Actually, there was a contest. No, anyway. But so I take vanilla. I take a little bottle of vanilla and I dab it like behind my ears and on my chin, and it keeps the gnats off of me. And it's only bad for about 3 or 4 weeks a year. And that's why I do vanilla.
The marketing materials, does it matter the size? Do you do full page, half page? Or does it
I do 8. That's a great question. She said, does it matter what size the marketing material is? I have found no, that it doesn't really matter. The majority of what we take is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and we fold it. We do so much door knocking. I have a folding machine in my office. So we'll print 1,000 flyers, run it through a folding machine, and it folds them in 3 minutes. I think it's 3 minutes. It's fast.
Cover what kind of marketing materials later in this.
When we talk about scripts, I'll talk about that a little bit more. It's the why we knock, or, you know, what to say, what to do, stuff like that. But to finish that up, we use door hangers, we use postcards, we use flyers. If I run a big run for postcards, which we don't do a lot of mailing, but we're very strategic with our mailing, and I have, say, 300 postcards left or 500 postcards left, I might go out with those postcards and everyone I meet, hand them that. Because if I hit 200 doors, about 20% of the people will open their doors. Or if I hit 2,000 doors, 20% of the people open their door. That's going to be 400 people I can give a flyer or a postcard to. So do that. Yes, sir.
My question, I heard you make a side remark in regards to you don't advise us to do 25 to 50 doors. My plan that I have with my coach Yana is 50 doors minimum every day.
50 minimum. Yeah, I wouldn't go out with the goal of hitting 25 to 50. I wouldn't. So if you hit them 50, because here's the deal, you're going to get loaded up. You're going to make flyers. You're going to put on sunblock, vanilla body spray, or the other. You're going to do all this stuff. You're going to get in your car and you're going to drive 20 minutes to a neighborhood, and then you're going to spend 20 minutes in the neighborhood. Why would you do that?
It took me about an hour and a half to hit those 50 doors, but
really,
the thing is that I was also targeting more motivated people. So expired FISBOs.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, so
that's different.
Kind of like a expired door, and then 5 left, 5 right, and so I was kind of. So there was some drive time, there was some break time. So I guess you could say I was door knocking actually for maybe an hour, and that's what it took me to do.
That's different. That's different. I'm talking about going into your farm area where there's 1,000 houses ripe for the picking. That won't take you an hour and a half to do 50 doors.
I got you.
That won't take you, even if you walk
How many
slow.
do you think we should do if we were to go out and do a door knocking session?
I would do 100.
100 minimum?
I would do 100 minimum.
On the marketing material, are you leaving marketing material if they don't ask for door?
Maybe.
What would you suggest using to attach that so that it won't end up on the ground?
Tape. Clear tape.
So you are leaving it if they don't?
Sometimes. And I'll get to that when we talk about why. I'm going to burn through a little bit more because we're going to be short on time, but I will answer all your questions that y'all want, okay? When we get to the end, we get to scripts in the last part of this, a lot of this stuff will be answered a little bit more. It'll be a great segue for questions. When is the best time? Morning or evening? Y'all guess, when's the best time?
Morning, evening.
I'm hearing everything. Here's when we go out.
Everybody's gonna be equal.
When I am very serious and I'm ramping up for the year, I go out in the morning and I go out in the evening. What do y'all think's the best time to go? Nikki? Morning. Morning. Not what time in the morning though? 10, 9. 8:30 or 9. We're hearing all these answers. This is what we found. Years and years and years of doing this. The best time to go out and door knock to get people to actually open the door is from 10 a.m. to noon and 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Not a.m., 6 p.m. Those are the best 2 times of the day to go out. Here's why. The morning, people are going to work, they're getting kids to school, they're doing their morning workout, they're doing all their routine. From 9 to 10, and this is in our market area, but we're talking thousands of houses we've sampled this on. People don't open the door much before 10 a.m. From 10 to noon, we get a way higher open rate, okay? You'll still get people open the door at 9, not as many. From 10 to noon, higher. And then we found 4 to 6, it's the highest. People are home from school, you're always gonna get one person at the house, almost always. So someone's gonna open the door. Now, if a kid opens the door, I ask for their parent. If their parent's not there, I end the conversation and I move on. You don't want to be talking to an 11-year-old. You'll be on the news, okay? But at 6, most people start making dinner, and most people eat dinner about 6:30, 7 o'clock. If you go and you knock on doors during dinner time, you're gonna get some angry people, but you're gonna get low open rates, okay? We wanna go out there, if we're gonna spend 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is, we're gonna want people to open the door, okay? So those are the best times. Morning and evening are both good. I prefer weekdays. I would not knock on Sundays. Saturdays are a great day. I would go Saturday morning, not Saturday evening. The best thing about Saturdays, especially in the spring, we door knock on Saturdays all the time. People are out doing yard work. And when you're digging a hole and you're tired and sweaty, what's the best thing you could get? Someone give you a reason to take a break. Anybody doing yard work has always stopped and talked to me. Hey, what are you doing? I'm tired of doing yard work. You know, they stop and talk to you. So you're getting a conversation with people. Hey, I can give you this flyer, or I can, set it on your front porch. Sometimes they'll take it and they give it an excuse to go in, get a drink of water, okay? Saturday's good. I would not do Sundays. Middle of the days get tricky. So I would do weekdays, and I would do 10 a.m. to noon, and I would do 4 to 6. If you do a Saturday, 10 to noon is really good. Before an open house, something like that. I like to do a Thursday before an open house, to be honest. Fridays aren't bad, but a Thursday afternoon, great day to do before a Saturday or Sunday open house. How long each day? We go out for 2 hours, and in 2 hours, I will hit at least 100 houses. At least 100 houses in 2 hours, okay? I can usually do, especially if I go to an area that has like patio homes and it's real small lots, I can get through 100 houses in about an hour and a half easily. Easily. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, in the back.
The conversion rate, or is it like 10%? You'll like 10% out of 10 people you'll speak to 20%?
16 to 20%, okay? Depends on your neighborhood makeup, but we found at 16 to 20%, I get about 20%. The neighborhoods I do have a lot of people that are retired, so they're home. A lot of, single income households, so there's a mom at home, sometimes a dad at home. So I get about 20%. So if I knock on 1,000 doors, I'll get 200 people open the door. I'll get 200 people. And now, depends on the day. If you go on a Saturday, you might see a higher conversion rate on that. Saturday, you might see 30 to 40%. Yeah. That answered, I think, 4 people's questions right there. They all raised their hand. I think it was the same question. Okay, so think about that. Hey, I'm going to go knock on 1,000 doors. 200 people are going to open the door. Okay? And you're probably going to go back to the neighborhood again for another reason. So you're going to probably talk to people eventually. We talked about how long each day, minimum number of doors was your question. I say go out and do 100 doors minimum. That's usually my goal. So do an hour and a half, 2 hours. I really do about 2 hours. And but it's about an hour and a half, because you're going to move, okay, throughout the neighborhood. I'm trying to find a good spot where I can go to about 50 houses, and then I do the 50 houses, get in my car, take a break, get a little AC, some water, move your vehicle, go do another 50 doors. When it's springtime, you're trying to ramp up your business, you might go for more doors. You might go, hey, I'm going to talk to 100 people today. Well, you might have to knock on 500 doors to talk to 100 people, okay? And you're going to have to split it up if you're going to do that, okay? Part we've all been waiting on. What do you say when you knock on the door, okay? So we talked about why we're going to door knock, what we're going to take with us. Now we're talking, what can we say? Yes, ma'am.
Real quick before
You in the back.
So I always struggle on where should I park?
So what I do, I find like 2 corner lots, and I park between 2 corner lots, because there's a long strip of grass, and you can usually park there in between some driveways where someone's not going to back out to you. Community mailboxes are usually on those things, so you make sure you don't park before the mailbox, but park after it. That's where I park. I'll try to find a shade tree if I can, park under a shade tree. You'll see some cul-de-sacs, like there's not a house at the very end. You'll have two houses right here, and then there's kind of an open space at the end of the cul-de-sac. Park there. That's a great place. Because then you go on one side of the street, you go all the way down and come back around, and you finish at your vehicle. That's what I always try to do. If I go more in depth, I could probably bring a map and show y'all, but that's what I do. I find 2 corner lots, and I park between there on the long grass strip, and it's basically right where the fences meet. That's where I park. Any other questions before we get into what are you saying? Okay, so the script you use is very simple, and I always say it depends on why you're going out there. I love the open house example, and the reason open houses are great is because you can have an open house for your listing, or someone in your office could have one and you're doing their open house. Open houses are a great way to get your business going because it doesn't have to be your listing. It can be in your brokerage. Sometimes you can do in another brokerage, but that gets real tricky. You got to get a lot of approval for that, so I don't recommend that. But someone in your office, a friend, someone like that has a listing in an area that you want to go into, that's what I do. If I want to go into a neighborhood and expand, I'm going to find a listing that you have in that neighborhood, or he has, or she has. I'm going to go into that neighborhood, and I'm going to do an open house, and I'm going to go knock 200 doors for that open house. That's what I'm going to do. There's my strategy. I gave y'all the secret. So this is what we're going to say. Got an open house. We're going to go knock on the door. You knock on the door, back up 10 feet from the door. Do not be right next to the door. That's the old Zig Ziglar. You know, if you know Zig Ziglar, he went out and knocked on doors, and he said, I knocked on doors because no one ever got shot knocking on doors. I still haven't met anyone that got shot knocking on doors either. But he did. He said he'd knock on the door, and he would back up 10 feet, and he would talk from there, okay? I do the same thing. Most houses have a little window by the door, or they'll have, like, in the front of their house, they'll have a room on each side, usually an office, bedroom, dining room. I back up to where they can see me from those windows, okay? I want them to be able to see me from those windows so they know that I'm not a threat. I had a guy that came to my house, knocks on the door, and he's like leaning against the thing where you could barely see the guy. And I said, well, I'm going to use this as a lesson since I'm the door knocking guy, right? I'm going to use this as a lesson. I opened the door, and I gave him a door knocking training for about 4 minutes on my front porch. I was like, you never do that and all this stuff. And he was like, wait a minute. Like, don't hide yourself. People are going to think you're a criminal, okay? And that's why I put in the part about the doorbell. I've listed houses through the door. People couldn't open the door for some reason. Dog, kids, something. I've listed houses. I've done my spill through the door, and I got the listing. If I go up to a house and I see a Ring doorbell or a video camera doorbell, ring the doorbell. Person can talk to you through there. If they're not home and they don't want to talk, they'll talk to you. List a house through the doorbell. Do your script through the doorbell. Don't be the person that gets all creepy on the front porch because there's a video camera, and then they put you on the neighborhood Facebook page and you get banned from the neighborhood. Don't be that person, okay? I've never been banned from a neighborhood, so it's not me. Okay? Ring the doorbell. Go and be as transparent and upfront with who you are and why you're there as possible, okay? And then do your deal, get out, stay in touch. All right, open house script. I'm going to do an open house on Saturday at 123 Main Street. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock on the door. When they answer the door, I'm just going to say, hello, my name is Chris Lesak. I'm with blank real estate company, Keller Williams Real Estate. Saturday, I'm having an open house at 123 Main Street, and as a courtesy to the seller, I wanted to invite all the neighbors. Here's my flyer, your personal invitation. Hand them the flyer. They open it up, your picture, your name, your property, a picture of that house, your real estate company, and all the legal things that are required to be on that flyer are on that flyer. The resistance comes down. Okay? Legitimate person at my house, not a weirdo, creep, criminal, someone trying to break in. Step back. I'll take one step forward and I hand them the flyer. and then I step back to where I was originally, okay? Like Chris has a 6-foot step, yes I do, and 8-foot arms. But that's what I do. I basically take a step, hand them the flyer. They'll usually meet you, grab the flyer. And I say, just out of curiosity, do you know anyone moving to the area that you can invite to the open house? And they'll say, no. I appreciate you thinking about that. Just out of curiosity, have you thought about selling your house in this great real estate market? They'll say yes or no. Okay. Once you've got the first no or 2 no's and you ask them that, they're more likely to give you a good answer. They're more likely to give you a real answer. They won't lie to you just to get you out of there. They'll see, hey, you're genuine, you've lowered their resistance, you've got to know, because everybody wants to say no the first time. Give them a throwaway question. Get them to say no, come back in, ask them when they're going to move. Oh, we just moved in 6 months ago. Oh, okay. How are you liking the neighborhood so far? Be their friend. They've been there 6 months, probably aren't going to move again. They might, probably not. Say, well, you've been here 6 months. Here's something I do for the neighbors. I have a newsletter that I send out every month, or I have a website that you can get a free CMA anytime. Whatever it is, see if they want to sign up on your list, get their contact info. If they say no, leave it alone. Hey, you can come on in. Okay? Get their contact. If they say no, fine. You've gotten their answer. You need to find their answer. What are they looking to do with real estate? You're trying to see if they're going to sell their house. Now, you might knock on a door and say, hey, come to my open house Saturday from 2 to 4. Do you know anyone looking to move to the area? Well, not to the area, but I'm looking to buy a house. You find a tenant in the neighborhood. Out of 1,000 houses, you're probably going to have about 40 people that are renters. 40 people that are renters. So 40 people that are eventually going to buy a house or lease another house. Build a relationship. We are not trying to close for business the first time we go door knock. This isn't calling expireds and FSBOs. We are trying to build a relationship.
I'm door knocking a lady today. She's a renter and she's already under contract on the new build. She's like, we just went under contract 2 weeks ago.
New build. He could have put her under contract. They could have gotten a new build. Okay? Could have been on that deal. Tenants are great. People have lived in the neighborhood a long time. They're great. You're going to meet people. You want to find the nosy neighbor. I'm not selling. I'm never going to leave. They're going to have to carry me out of this house. Oh, okay. You know anyone else thinking about selling? They're going to sell in about 6 months. They're going to sell. You get that. You don't think it's going to happen. You're going to get that. Okay? So go back. Stay in touch with that person. Send them a note card. Maybe you want to send them some cookies. Go back and see that person every once in a while. They're going to give you that info. Okay? You're there to find out what people are doing with their real estate. And then you're there to build a relationship. I went on a listing appointment 2 months ago. Okay? Yeah, it was July. So maybe 3 months ago now. And these are people I met 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years ago, I met these people. I just listed, we're coming soon, we're going to be on the market in about a week, from another person I knocked on their door about a year ago. I have people in my pipeline that I've met 2 years, 3 years ago, and I just stayed in touch with them. I didn't send them a postcard every week for 10 years. I didn't do that. I was present in the neighborhood. When I was near their house, I knocked on their door and said, hey, I'm doing an open house Saturday. I know you're not going to move, in the neighborhood. You said you're going to move to Alabama. Would you like to come by Saturday? I've had people drive around the neighborhood to find where we're doing open houses just to come say hi. You're building relationships with people. You're not trying to close them on the first day. That's your objective. What is your objective? Find out what they're going to do with their real estate and build a relationship with them. Now, I have knocked on doors where people said, hey, I'm going to sell my house in a month. Great. Well, I'm going to be their best friend. I'm going to get their contact info right away. I'm going to stay in touch with them. The lady I listed her house through the door. I went back 2.5 weeks later. We had the formal listing presentation, signed the papers. She's like, the whole time, I am so sorry I couldn't open the door. I had my dog with me. My dog was freaking out. If I opened that door, dog's gonna try to attack you. I understand. We're here now, we're signing the papers, let's get your house sold. Okay, you're gonna have people that are immediate. You'll find FSBOs in your neighborhood. You're gonna knock those doors, okay? Those are gonna list quick. If I find a FSBO, they just listed their house, I'm gonna be the first person there, I'm gonna list their house probably in about 3 or 4 weeks. That's usually how it happens. And once you've done this long enough and they see your signs in the neighborhood and they've seen you and people talk about you in a positive way on the community Facebook page, you're gonna get listings. You're gonna have lower resistance. You're gonna go on come list me's where you're not competing against anyone, okay? Any questions about what we say? Now, here's one thing. You can make it anything. Hey, we just sold a house 4 streets away from you. And we just want to know, or we just want to let the neighbors know what houses are selling for in the area. Would you like a free CMA on your house? Give them the script. We found every 200 houses that go on the market, there's 2 to 3 more people that sell their house. And I was curious if you were one of those people. Have you thought about selling your house? Okay. You can do that. You can adjust that script a whole bunch of different ways. All right, any ahas? Did anyone learn anything today? Anything that's gonna stick in the brain? Head shaking, yes. Someone give me one. What's something that we learned today?
We have to prepare before you go door knocking.
Prepare before you go door knocking.
Marketing tools, everything.
Right up on their door.
Don't be right up on their door. Find out if you need a permit. That's right.
Preferred times.
Yeah, the preferred times. Go at the right time to maximize your results.
I'm literally sitting here thinking if my face is going to be on one of the neighborhood's pages.
He's worried he's going to be on a Facebook. Maybe you're doing something wrong if you're worried about being on a Facebook page.
No, but it's just like, okay, now I need to get on that page.
Yes, ma'am.
I just really think you did a great job on.
Thank you for saying I did a great job.
You did. I mean, and you tied all the pieces together because typically we get snippets, and so you did a great job just tying everything together and even getting the feedback. It's identifying the snippets, and you did tie them very well together.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Okay.
I've heard of other agents door knocking with CMAs and giving that as an item of value. Do you have any pros, cons, or ideas?
We've done that. I've always thought of reviewing the information before I go out. Hey, let me know what's going on in the market. I might carry one CMA with me into the area in case they ask about that house 4 doors down that I didn't sell. I want to be the neighborhood expert and I want to have that information with me. And I want to be able to say, hey, that house sold for $400,000, just as an example, okay? I want to be able to do that. Yes, sir.
So, not doing an open house, just doing door knocking in general, what material do you bring with you as far as giving someone that opens the door?
Yeah, so again, it depends on why I'm going out there. I door knock for just listed, just sold. If I really need to make a touch in a neighborhood and it's been a while, I might do a coming soon door knock. Hey, I wanted to let you know that I have a listing coming here, 123 Main Street. It's coming soon. It's going to be on the market in a week. Just want to let the neighbors know about it. Same flyer. I just changed what it says at the top. It's got a picture of the house. It's got my contact info.
Like if you were just, for instance, if I just wanted to go out in my neighborhood and I don't have the listing, I don't have an open house.
Market value, something like that. So I had a website. I still have the website, but I got a website and it gave you an instant home valuation, okay? Instant home valuation when you submitted your address and everything like that. Hey, tax time's coming up. Just find a reason, okay? You're just looking for a reason to go. Tax time's coming up and we know that neighbors care about their values. I have a website where you can go get a free CMA, no obligation. You can do it whenever it's convenient for you. Go there and you just give them the info. By the way, who do you know who's looking to buy or sell a house? You got a friend moving to the neighborhood, something like that. You're looking for a reason to go out there. Could be anything. Home valuations, just listed, just sold, open house. Open house, just listed, just sold are good ones. Because that looks like, hey, this guy's doing stuff in the neighborhood, right? He's listing houses, he's selling houses, he's active in the community. Okay? Those are good reasons to go. But if you have no other reason, do home valuations. Do a CMA. Don't take the CMA. Hey, we're sending this out or free deal. Go to this website, do whatever, collect their contact information when you're out there. Or send them to a place where you can collect their contact information and stay in touch with them. Yes, sir.
2 questions for you. How do you pick the neighborhood and the price point that you want to hit? And how often do you hit a door that you've already, like let's say the doors I knocked this morning, when should I schedule to go back?
Did you talk to the person?
So I have it in my app. So I use Spodio to.
But have you knocked on the door and you talked to the person or didn't talk to
There's
them?
about 7 people that I've talked to.
And it was an expired?
One of them was an expired that answered the door.
Yeah. If I talked to an expired, I'd be following. I probably wouldn't go door knock. I would follow up with them with, postcard or something like that, because someone that's expired, they're either going to list their house right away again, or they're going to wait 6 months, see what the market does. So they're going to be different than the person that's not moving for 3 years. Someone that's in 3 years, I might send them a handwritten note and leave them alone for 6 months.
But what I'm saying
year.
is, okay, I knocked this door, left the flyer, they didn't answer. When should I go back? Or is it?
And it's not expired.
Not expired.
Because I was like, if it's an expired, you go there every day until you talk to them.
Those are going to be a completely different mindset. I'm talking about just general door knocking. It's a cold door.
You can go in a month.
Yeah. You want to make sure your face is in there every
Yeah.
month or something.
Yeah.
And then how do you?
There's always exceptions to that, but go every month until you talk to the person. How do I pick it? So one, you need to pick somewhere it's going to sell. You want it to sell. And what's moving? Are $200,000 houses moving? Are $1 million houses moving? Very hard to door knock in the luxury market. I could do a whole class on that. I could spend an hour on that. The market that I look at is $200,000 to $400,000 houses. And I want to find stuff that's selling. If you go in a neighborhood and you haven't seen a sign in the yard in a year, not a neighborhood to be in.
Right.
You want to look for a good turnover rate in the neighborhood.
I guess to get just a slightly more specific, it's like, are you picky about the price point itself? Because I hear
Yeah.
other agents, they go, I'm not going to waste my time at a 200 if I could go to a 500.
I want houses that are going to sell.
So you're more focused on the end result, not necessarily the check that comes out.
I go to 200,000 to 400,000 because right now in my area, $500,000, $600,000 houses aren't selling as much. They're not. They're taking 6-8 months. I'm going to pass through a neighborhood. I like a neighborhood where there's move up, where there's 200,000 to 600,000. If you go to Greatwood, you can start at a $200,000 house and end up in a $1.4 million house.
Right.
That's a great neighborhood. You may not knock the 1.4 million, but they're going to see your signs and your open house signs, and they're going to see your activity in the neighborhood and know you're someone to call. Any other thoughts? Let me do get into action. We'll wrap up our taping, and then I'll stick around for any other questions. So get into action. This is what I would do. If you don't have a listing, go to someone that does. Do an open house this weekend. And go door knock for the next 4 to 5 days. If you do a Saturday or Sunday, it depends on how many days. Next 3, 4, 5 days, go spend some time, probably 3-4 hours, knocking on the doors of 200 people and tell them that you're having an open house this weekend. Do 200 doors and see what happens. I can almost guarantee you will find 1 to 2 people that are going to sell their house within the next 6 to 12 months. I can almost guarantee you that. Okay? So we'll end there, but I'll stick around for questions, anything like that. And thanks for coming, and it was great talking with y'all.
That was great.